Hey y'all, what's going on? Your girl Val is back, baby. Yes, honey. We are in this thing. Oh my gosh, what have y'all been doing? Yikes. Things are crazy, right? It's just so much going on. People are everywhere, and I just don't know if it's beneficial for us. I just kind of think it's gonna be bad in the long run, but we'll wait to see what the numbers are. Y'all comment and let me know what you guys have been doing. I can tell you what I've been doing. In the house. Yeah. Making videos. So today I want to talk about is relationships. I wanted to kind of discuss that. One of my earlier videos, we talked about friendships and just kind of how we, since this pandemic has been going on, how we are reaching out to our friends, or staying connected with our friends, and just kind of what friendship means. And so today I want to talk about relationships and the things we put up with or endure in relationships to be in a relationship. And a lot of times, some people will call it compromise, but it's really not that. I don't think that that's what that is. Some things that we put up with or we deal with and endure, a lot of time it's based on fear. It's the fear of being alone, being lonely, not being with somebody, because we all know what we will and what I stand for. When you're single and you see things going around you and in other relationships and how people interact, you tend to find yourself saying things like, "Oh hell no, I wouldn't put up with that." That ain't nothing I'm gonna deal with. When in actuality, you've dealt with it, or you will deal with it in some form. It may not be to the extremes of the person that you're discussing, but you do tend to deal with certain things that you say you wouldn't deal with or put up with when you see it playing out in another relationship. We tend to be okay with what I would call minor infractions, things that are not as big as other things. But oh my gosh, you guys, I'm sorry. This light is it's not good. Y'all pray for me. I'm gonna try to get it together. But some of the things that we put up with, that we deal with, like I say, are the minor things. Like whether it's little lies. I caught you in a lie. You said you was here when really you was here, or last week you said you were going here. Then I find out this is where you really went. So, those are the things that we tend to kind of ignore and deal with and put up with because, again, we don't want to be by ourselves. We feel like those are things that we can deal with. Those are not the deal breakers. Deal breakers are usually the big things, infidelity, of course, or in some form, infidelity in some form, whatever you feel like is infidelity, whether it's just communicating or it's going with the physical, or, whatever it is. And then, deal breakers tend to be finances, if you don't have everything together, or or your lack of finances is putting a strain on a relationship. Those are things that we typically, are like, you know what, I got to hit the dough. So, but I find that the small things that we put up with and that we endure tend to grow. Okay. So your one lie about where you were, who you were with, what they call and said, tends to grow into another lie. Whether it's the next time or another level of the lie. Now maybe it's not the time frame. Now it's who was there, who you were with, what you guys did, or those kind of things. And so it just kind of spirals out of control, and then it goes from little to big. And so then here we are with years that we've put up with something that we know didn't benefit us in the long run. It didn't yield us tangible dividends. We lost by dealing with these imperfections. You know what I mean? And so I can recall a time where, I was taught and I was educated on, how a man is supposed to treat a woman. You know what I mean? Like, from they are the hunters, and they are the ones who are supposed to seek. You know what I mean? We are to make ourselves available. We are to be in the position to where, and when I say make ourselves available, we're to be doing our own thing. We're not to be seeking out the man. The man is supposed to find us. That's what we talk. If I take it to the biblical standpoint, they always go to Ruth and Boaz, and how Ruth was doing work, tending to the fields when Boaz saw her and found her. And, he in turn said that he found the wife finds a good thing. He saw her doing what she was doing, minding her business and tending to herself and taking care of herself. And, he was grateful to have found her. And so that's what we're supposed to do, right? And I think that a lot of what we deal with in a relationship is what we've seen in relationships, around us, and what we haven't seen. So, what we're taught and the idea that's been depicted on television does not match our real lives. It doesn't come across that way. Relationships don't begin with boy meets girl and boy asks girl out on a date, and they date, and they meet families, and he asks fathers for hands in marriages, and marriage, comes, and then there's children. That's not how relationships go. There are more single women now than there probably were when our parents were getting together. You know what I mean? Because, for one, our generation doesn't wholeheartedly believe in marriage. People would argue with, I believe in marriage. I want to be married. Yeah, we want to be married. When we were younger and in school, we wanted to be married. Every little girl has thought about a wedding in some way, whether it's and it may not be their wedding, but you know what I mean. So they've thought about it. Some part of a wedding, or been in a wedding and all of that. But we don't do the things in relationships that tend to lead to marriage. A lot of the times we do a lot of self things. We think about self, and we kind of want to be within the ramifications of the thoughts of how we see things to be. And typically that goes to me, selfishness. I want it to be about me. I want to go the way I want it to go, and we tend not to know how to compromise, so we just end up putting up with things that we wouldn't put up with, whether it's cheating and disrespect, and because after so long, people tend to feel like that's something that they deserve, and if that's something that you've dealt with for so long and you haven't seen anything else, you would believe that, I must deserve this. And that's not true. No woman or no man deserves to be treated unfairly, to be disrespected, to be unloved. We are all capable of love. We are formed in love. We are to love. So, nobody wants to deal with, being treated ugly, or being treated like they don't matter. You know what I mean? Everybody wants to have that type of feeling, that they are important to somebody, that there's somebody out here who thinks enough of them to love them unconditionally. And loving somebody unconditionally does not mean being stupid. Okay? You can love someone from afar. You know what I mean? You don't have to be in that relationship to love them and want what's best for them and don't want to see any hurt or harm come to them. But this is just not the relationship you're going to be in, because it's not adding value to your life. So, don't be out there feeling like because you're not with a man or with a woman or in a relationship that you're inadequate, because that's not the truth. And if you're in a relationship that is devaluing you, and you know when you're being devalued, if you take a look in the mirror, or if you look around at people who are loved and you admire a relationship of a man and a woman, look at them. Love is shown on you. When you are loved correctly, it can be shown. It's an inward to an outward experience. So when you're being loved right, it's inward and then it outwardly shows. People who are not loved properly, you can see it outwardly, because when they don't get the correct love, they are already struggling with self-love. Then if they don't love themselves, it shows. When a person loves themselves, it shows. So, don't feel like you're inadequate. Demand respect, demand love. And if you don't get it, peace. Be out. So you guys subscribe, like, share my video. Thank you for those who my subscribers, and thank you for the comments that I've received. Keep leaving them down there. Let me know what you guys want to talk about. Leave me some topics and we'll discuss them. And again, don't feel like, you have to compromise yourself and compromise who you are in order to obtain love, because that's not the way love is set up. Love is healing. Love conquers everything, So don't feel that way. But again, subscribe, like, share my video. Give me a thumbs up, push the bell so you can be notified when new videos pop up by me. And we'll see you next week. And until then, remember, like I say, be young, kind of beautiful, because being you is beautiful.